Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another Shark Attack Sunday.
Woo!
And I am here, woo, 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 and I am here today with my co-host Jonathan Moody and our special guest star, Donald Wills.
Donald Wills is back again.
That's right.
With his shark.
That's right. He had his hand surgically removed and replaced with a shark head.
It wasn't worth the money. Now it's hungry all the time.
Is that the same shark as the one on my picture? Like, look, like open up the looks very similar.
It looks like it, yeah.
They used
and excuse me. And we are going to be talking about the that wallpaper there that Jonathan has up, Noah's Shark, and I might be the only one who actually
This wood is possessed. I saw that evil is soaked into that board. You really want to know the secret of the ark, of the lost fourth son of Noah, and of the demon. I have to go to work. I know the Witch of Endor was real. We aren't the first to go looking for the ark.
We warned you about the cursed place.
I might be the only one who actually owns the movie, so I got it right here.
which is funny because I guess that doesn't even up above. Those don't even look like sharks. That's like manatees or something.
They are. They're the animals from Noah's Ark. So you got there's a hippo. Yeah, that might be like the manatee. There's a giraffe. There's an elephant, and then that's a person's hand or arm. And then there's the shark, and then there's Noah's Ark right there.
Noah's shark.
So,
I mean, yay! We'll be talking about Noah's shark.
So this is it's produced and directed by Mark Polonia. It's written by John Oak Dalton, and
I know John and I know Mark.
Yes.
I know many people from this.
It's got it's regulars. It's got Jeff Kirkendale. It's got
he's the lead in this.
Yeah. Well, now here's something you may not know or you didn't notice. His priest character in this is the same priest that's in Amityville Exorcism and the same priest that is in Amityville in Space. Now
so you went from Amityville to Noah's Ark.
And then into space.
Into space. But that was Amityville too, though. He just took
so he's in two Amityvilles, yeah. And it says the truth will have bite.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So so it's Jeff Kirkendale, Ryan Dalton, Jamie Morgan, Tim Hatch. Mel Heflin.
What?
Titus.
Wait, what?
I don't remember her being in the movie, but she's
I don't
on the
think
blog.
she was in the.
Oh no. There's like the two witches. Is like the good one and the bad one?
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Why is she not on the? Was she not on the IMDb? And I don't remember being in the credits at all.
Yeah, Titus Himmelberger, I think is how you say his name. Yolanda, I don't know. Yolanda Canels, Kevin Coolidge, and Knowles J. Lawton.
Okay, all those people are not on the list, like except for Yoli Canales or whatever. But here is what it says on IMDb. This is what confused me. This is what was on the actual credits, like in the beginning and whatnot. It was Jeff Kirkendall, Ryan Dalton, who played Buster, which I thought was an awesome name, by the way, because they have that one joke where he calls him Buster. You're not going to do this, Buster, or whatever. And I thought, okay, that's why they put that name. Jamie Morgan, who's a regular, and I love her to death. Tim Hatch, who's a regular. Yoli Kanellis, who I don't know her offhand. Kevin Coolidge, who played Zachiel, which we're gonna get into that. Samantha Coolidge and Titus Himmelberger, who played Adam, and then Mark Polonia, who played Alan. That's it. That's all that's listed in the credits for IMDb. And that's all I remember seeing in the credits for there. I don't remember seeing Mel, and I don't remember seeing, I think you said a couple other names. I'm just like, that was not.
They gotta be the good and bad witches that are like, there was the one chick in the cloak.
Yeah.
And then there was the one that was lying down that had all the candles around her.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if one of those was Mel. Because
Maybe,
she's now
she's a
a
redhead.
regular.
She's a redhead. So, I mean, unless she filmed her stuff, because she's in Japan right now. So, unless she filmed her stuff, like she could have filmed like in Japan, her stuff, and then send it over to him. I just don't remember. I don't remember her being in the credits, and I didn't recognize her as the witch. So
I didn't either. So I didn't go like, oh, hey, that's Mel Heflin. But yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean,
she was red. She has red hair, and the witch had red hair. So I just didn't recognize her and stuff. And I would have looked at the credits, and I would have been like, oh, that's Mel. Holy crap! But didn't see it.
And this film, so it's very short. So just let people know what the film is about. A televangelist and his team set out to find the fabled Noah's Ark, but discover it is guarded by an ancient curse and a deadly great white shark. From legendary B-movie director Mark Polonia, Sharkenstein Theaters and Splatter Farm.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That is what our movie is about. It's pretty new. It was last year.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go into it. I didn't we were talking about this earlier. I was not bored by this movie at all. Like I was, when I watched it last night, I watched it, quickly, and everything. And I actually sort of enjoyed it, the only biggest problem I had with it was it got into way too much like story flashbacks and stuff that I just, after a while, I just didn't it just confused the crap out of me. That was my only problem with the movie. So it confused me a lot, like what did Witches of Endor, by the way, they got some of that wrong, some of that biblically wrong, because in the Bible, it just never mentions anything about witches. It's just a woman, that apparently was in, I think, First Samuel or something.
It's all interpretation.
And it's she was a sorceress. She was a sorcerer, or no, fortune teller, or medium, or something like that. So
Yeah.
she wasn't really a witch. She was like a fortune teller kind of deal.
Right, in the actual Bible, but in this they call her Witch of Endor. Which, if you look it up on Google, there is the Witch of Endor is a true story, or whatever. But and it's in the Bible, but they never mention Witches of Endor or anything, So
she eventually went to go marry Wicket.
They make a Star Wars reference, and I'm just like, come on, really? Because of Endor. Like, really, like not many people except Star Wars nerds will pick that up, I mean, come on, it's silly.
Well, before I get into it, Donald, what did you think of it? Because I have a whole thing.
When I first watched it, now I'll tell the stories because these two were bashing on me. No, not really. When I first watched it, I was watching it late at night. And it was kind of like drawn out a little bit. But I didn't want, but that was probably because I was tired and I didn't want to judge it harshly based on that. So I rewatched it again today, And I agree with Jonathan about some of the flashbacks felt a little drawn out. Some of it was some of it did feel a little unnecessary, but overall it was an enjoyable movie. Me being from a religious background, I didn't particularly care for the religion, trying to add to a story to one of the Bible stories, but that's just me personally. But other than that, I thought it was I wasn't bored watching it.
What about you,
Okay.
John?
I really enjoyed it. It's not this. So if people are expecting the cover, it's not the cover. So
Well, they do have the ark.
yeah, but
spoiler alert.
there is no ark floating in the water. There are no animals. There is no killers. It's a very different movie.
Right.
And I probably think like a good double feature with this would probably be the Yeti experiment. Same, because they're up in the snow and in the mountains and all that type of stuff. I really enjoyed it because and I brought up IMDb here because for me it seems like Mark he's in a new phase in filmmaking where basically his movies are batshit crazy and make no sense. And I don't mind that. And they're just crazy movies. And I mean, I can only imagine what Amityville in space is going to be like. But now it's just crazy stuff. And it really is almost like you're watching like a movie on acid. That there's so many colors, there's so many like VFX, there's so many weird things. I mean, it's so weird that this guy, this radio host, has what he calls, a piece of wood from Noah's Ark, and it's just sitting in a hallway. It's just stuff like that to me is just really weird.
Well,
and
why did like Jeff Kirkendall's character automatically know was possessed by the devil? Like he starts performing that exorcism on that piece of Noah's Ark or whatever, and like that confused the fuck out of me. Like why?
Because he said that he's done so many before that it just like it's just a thing.
I don't buy that. I don't. Sorry, like. And, but then again, as you said, this is a crazy movie. This isn't a movie that's supposed to make any sense. This is a fever dream, of a movie. And that's how it felt to me.
Well, yeah, because if you look at, okay, so I haven't seen the film yet, but I own it. I saw the trailer for Sharkula. That looks absolutely insane. Jonathan, you saw Sasquatch. Was that kind of, or House Squatch? Was that kind of crazy?
It was silly, like to me it was Suburban Sasquatch 2, and it was actually what I imagined a Suburban Sasquatch to be more like, because I thought, oh, Suburban Sasquatch, it's got to be a Sasquatch in suburbia, right? Like, and most of the time it's in the woods because that's where Sasquatch lives, right? That one, they actually call it a house squatch. And I reviewed it, and I mean, I didn't hate it, I just thought it was just kind of like, I mean, I don't know. A lot of Mark Polonia's movies are the same, like they're movies that just sort of are just crazy, just have...
Well, they are. I mean, when you think about something like, Bigfoot versus zombies and Sharkenstein, Amityville Exorcism.
I loved Sharkenstein.
Oh, I absolutely love
here.
It's my, I have a feeling Amityville in Outer Space will probably be my favorite, but
I really
so
hope
far
so.
Sharkenstein is my favorite. And I really think from Land Shark on, his stuff has just been insane. And I say that in a good way because it's very
What
different.
movie did you say?
Land Shark.
Oh, Land Shark. I was gonna ask if that was his because I know his son does movies now, and I didn't know if that was If that was his or
No,
not.
that was way before his son started doing movies.
I didn't know when his son started movies. So
Yeah.
I'm
His
not
son
too
was more
familiar.
newer, but his son has been working with stuff. I think he's worked with friends of ours and stuff and whatnot in different movies. What
Yeah.
were you saying, John?
But it's like,
Sorry.
okay, like the Empire of the Apes movies, then the Bride of the Werewolf, I think, is one of his best ones. I think that is his most legit solid movie, is
I
Bride of the
really like
Werewolf.
that one, and I loved Mel in it,
Yeah.
and I think it was a really good, fun movie. It's funny, I talked to some of the people from that movie, and I actually had a movie that I wrote called Bride of the Wolf, and I was like, uh-oh, when I saw this, Bride of the Werewolf is what that one was called. But but they're completely different movies, so and I think I've heard Mark wouldn't care, if I ever still did mine, you know. But that's the thing, like Noah's Shark. Nobody else is gonna do Noah's Shark. Somebody
No,
did.
that's why it's crazy. I mean, you got stuff, Amityville Island, Shark Encounters of the Third Kind. That one's crazy.
That
I
one's
mean,
pretty nuts.
Return to Splatter Farm, Children of the Camp Blood, Invasion of the Empire of the Apes, Dune World, Camp Murder, and then Noah's Shark, and then he's
Sharkula.
got some new ones, coming out, and it's it's weird that if you go and you look at his earlier movies, pretty much I think before Land Shark, they're different. There's and then it's
When did
like
his I mean, because didn't he have a passing with his brother and stuff?
his
Like,
twin brother. That was
yeah.
right after he did Monster Movie, I believe, is the name of the film.
So
It's
yeah,
a
so
found footage.
when he kind of went solo, he sort of came into his own style, I'll say that.
Yeah, because that's when was so Monster Movie, that was 2008. And then he was still kind of the same. I discovered him with Camp Blood for Slaughter. That's where I first learned of him.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
forgot he did the Camp Blood. He did a couple Camp Blood movies, if I'm correct.
yeah. Oh yeah. He's done like 3 of them. Yeah, like 3 or 4 of them at this point. So it's just, to me, what I really liked about Noah's Shark is that it is different. Is that it's subtle and crazy at the same time. I like the idea that, because on the last video that we did with Apex Predators, is I kind of criticized Dustin Ferguson. It's like, well, it's the same location, it's the same car, it's the same this, whatever. With Mark, that's what I love. I love seeing his house in every film. I love seeing his car in every movie, his boat in every movie. I mean, these are all tax write-offs, and it's all the same people and stuff, and I really like that. So
I definitely like seeing the same people because they're all playing different parts, Like
yeah,
you can't say Jeff Kirkendall playing the priest that he played in maybe 3 movies is the same as the doctor he played in Sharkenstein,
right.
Well, like they're completely different characters. And he picks these actors who are amazing actors, that just
They go from good to, in my opinion, they go from good to bad, but the bad for some reason works.
well,
Like
it's
it's
for that style.
Yeah, it's just it's some of the actors I think are better than the others, but I like them all. I never go like, oh god, this person's in his movie again. I like everybody in his films, but some are better than the others. And I like that he's like they're going to find Noah's Ark, and this is obviously they're in the snow in the forest behind his house.
Yeah.
And they don't have tents, they don't have sleeping bags, they just sleep on the ground.
Right. As you
do. Yeah, and it's and Mark seems to like to put himself in a lot of his movies now, and so this is a little found footage and a little not. And
I really like seeing Mark. I was not expecting that. And I was expecting him only in the beginning, right? Because he came in the beginning and then sort of left for a little bit. And I was like, okay, so he's done. And then he comes back. And I'm like, fuck yeah, good. And he's in most of the movie. And I'm like thinking he should do that because he's not a bad actor at all. Like he's pretty damn good. For for a director directing as he's acting, that's tough.
That's smart. He's like, I'm gonna have to go shoot this movie anyway, so I might as well do a found footage, and I'll be the cameraman.
Exactly. I'll be the cameraman because I'm gonna probably be using the camera most of the time.
Yeah. And then our buddy Tim Hatch plays Noah.
Yeah.
So he constantly comments on stuff by leaving smiley faces. So
yes. I love him to death too. I don't think he was too fond of my House Squatch one review. I said, hey, and I tagged the people in it, and he was like, yes, I saw that. And I was like, all right, well, I didn't want to ask what his opinion was because I did not want to even know right at that point. But and look, I'm honest, when I review these movies, and I feel like you have to be honest, because if you lie or you say, oh, this is the greatest movie and it's not the greatest movie, people are going to take our word and then they're going to go and watch it and they're going to be like, well, why are we listening to these guys? Because they're not, I don't know.
But I think in the case also, like we had mentioned with Dustin Ferguson, where why would you watch a Dustin Ferguson movie if you don't like Dustin Ferguson's movies? It'd be the same thing here.
Yep.
If you don't like Mark Polonia's movies, don't watch them.
Right.
And for me, they're giant comic books. So there's obviously movies I like more than others that he's made. But I think with the colors that he uses and the camera angles and all that, and especially the actors, since they overact a lot, it's very much a comic book. And that's, and I like that. And I think when he first started going kind of crazy, with the movies that he was making, I don't think I liked it at first. I was kind of like, no, man, go back to like straight storytelling. Just give me. But then the more that he brings these things out,
you started to like see the pattern.
Yeah, it's like, wait, now they're kind of getting interesting because like you said, nobody's gonna make Noah Shark.
Yeah,
this is a very weird type of thing, that it's, and you could nitpick it. I mean, you would talk, both of you guys had talked about, oh no, the stuff, that they did in the Bible is a little off. It's not correct. Well, okay. Well, why would Noah's Ark still be there?
Yeah.
It wouldn't, and of course for somebody like me, well, yeah, exactly. And for somebody like me, who's an atheist, Noah's Ark never existed, it's just a story that's told. So I think maybe that's also why I don't nitpick something like this by saying, okay, well, why are our actors standing in snow, but the ark, which is obviously like a drawing or a picture, not in snow at all? There's just dirt around it. Well, in my mind, it never existed to begin with. So
all right,
why do I care?
Didn't bother you at all.
Yeah.
I want to know real quick, Donald, have you watched a lot of Mark Polonia movies?
I've watched a few. I haven't watched as much as you guys have, obviously, but I've seen like the Camp Blood movies that he's directed. I've seen Land Shark. I actually really enjoyed Land Shark. Virus Shark.
I love Sarah French, and she needs to be in more Mark Polonia movies. Like, period. I just adore her.
Who is that?
Sarah French.
I'm not good with the names. I do apologize.
No, it's fine. But she's been in a lot of movies and a lot of indie films. And she was in Land Shark. She was in. He's looking like he's grabbing a movie that she's in.
Now it's so there's two Land Sharks, and this is not it.
Yeah, that's the other.
That's not it.
So just to let people know, the one with Sarah French is a very different movie.
I bought that movie thinking it was Mark Polonia's Land Shark, only to bring it home and look at the back and say, "Oh, this isn't the movie I thought it was at all."
No,
it is not.
It's an Asian movie or something.
Yeah. So if If people go to see Land Shark, since we're talking it up, don't get that one. Get the one with Sarah French in it.
Get the one with Sarah French because it's so good. But did you
And
like that one? Did you like the other one? The Asian one?
I haven't watched it yet. Did you, Donald?
Which one?
The Asian Land Shark, the one that I just showed.
I have not watched it. No, I'll watch it eventually, but I just haven't had the chance to. I mean, I was kind of turned off because, like I said, I thought it was Mark Polonius because everyone was saying that it was. I don't know if you've seen on Facebook. There was a lot of confusion about that, and then someone brought it up and said, "Hey, no, this is not Mark's movie. This is like the Japanese movie." And I'm like, "Oh, that's nice to know." After I paid $10 for it.
Jesus.
I mean, I bought it knowing that it wasn't. So the like 3 shark movies came out all at the same time, and I just bought all of them, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
So, but to go back to Sarah French, she's very sweet. I got to work with her on Art of the Dead, and she signed a couple, like DVDs for me and stuff, and she's very sweet. So it's worth seeing the film just for her. And it's funny because there is a behind the scenes on it where you can see where it's just a fin, and the guy that's got like the pole in it. So like Mark would just have somebody go behind bushes or a wall and just run with it. Or it would be the shark head like Donald has. It would be that one where you see the shark head roaming around. So
that shark head roaming around. See, it's just roaming around right there. No, don't eat us. So that's so that's interesting. So I mean, this is not the first Mark Polonius shark movie, obviously, as we said. There's Land Shark. I think that might have been the first, Sharkenstein. I mean, he's sort of known for the
Our Shark.
When I was chatting with him once and we were coming up with an idea for a movie that he might direct one day for me. I won't tell you guys anything about it or whatever, just whatever, if it actually ends up happening. But he had told me he gets commissioned basically to do these, shark movies by like Wild Eye. So Wild Eye will come to him and say, I want to I want you to produce a shark movie. So he'll produce this movie and then it'll get out on, Wild Eye. And, the thing is, when you look at it, like he did, I believe, Jurassic Shark 2 and Jurassic Shark 1 was done by Brett Kelly. And that, I think Jurassic Shark was one of the first ones from Wild Eye to start having the weird name that's like, this being Noah's Shark, being a reference to Noah's Ark. But that one was like, like Jurassic Park, it's Jurassic Shark, or his was Jurassic Shark 2 Shark Apocalypse or something.
Shark Apocalypse. Yeah. I love that title. I love that subtitle.
Yeah. Which, I mean, goes back to, and it's funny, both when I watched this movie, Noah's Shark on Tubi, and I watched Apex Predators, both movies would start at the end of it, would go to Jurassic Shark 2. So they wanted me badly to watch that, which one day I will, but I haven't seen it yet. Really, I really want to, but just haven't, had the time, unless I'm doing a review of it,
Well, and that's why I wanted to do the review of this is because I haven't watched, Noah's Shark. And so I thought that would be a perfect opportunity for it. I really didn't even know what it was about. I think I saw the trailer and that was it.
I figured it was something to do with Noah and a shark,
What did you guys think of Noah's Ark? I mean, obviously it's a barn, some sort of barn, but I thought it was not bad for what they were doing. It worked.
It worked because a lot of it was close-ups and stuff, so you don't really get to see the full scope of a lot of things. So like it worked for that, like especially when you saw the ark in the picture, right? And you see it for like 2 seconds or something of like big giant ark. Then the next ones are like close-ups of the outside of it.
White wood.
Yeah, some white wood. And then he goes inside it and looks around. The only problem I have with the movie is like I just didn't get this, it's gonna steal your soul. But then like he was still okay. It seemed like he was still okay. Like it never stole his soul at the end. Like,
Yeah, that part didn't make any sense.
yeah. Like, am I crazy,
Well,
John?
that's why I'm saying his movies are crazy now. His movies are nuts. They don't make a lot of sense, but they're entertaining. They're all around like 70 minutes, so you don't get bored, but they may or may not make a lot of sense. But they're more visual movies now, you know?
Yeah.
Because you would, if you go back and look at something like, what is it called? Like The House That Screamed, 1 and
Right.
2, and that's when he was with his brother, and there was like a different set of actors that he was using. Those are straightforward horror films, and he also did Easter eggs in them. So you
Mhm.
like, I think it's the second movie that deals with an author, and he writes a book called The House That Screams, I believe, or Screamed. And in another movie, there's that book. So he was a little more into straightforward horror films, beginning, middle, and end.
They're all
with this
connected.
Easter egg. Yeah, there's somehow there, and then it was later on that all of a sudden that stopped a little bit, and then yeah, like after his brother's passing, with they started to get a little crazy, and so I don't know. With me always talking about bad writing and stuff like that, I don't know if I should be
This even
referring.
counts, you know.
Yeah,
This,
There's
you know,
I think
you know, oh, go ahead, Don.
I was gonna say I think there's a big difference between bad writing that is bad because they were trying and bad writing that is actually done on purpose. You know, I feel
Right.
like this is intentionally bad. You know, it's not supposed to be taken serious. It's basically supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
While you know, like I said previously, Dustin Ferguson, the script is not really there. It's kind of more like fly by the seat of his pants kind of deal,
Mm-hmm. Feels
and it's
improv.
not really thought out. But this, you can clearly see that this was thought out. They thought about, you know, let's make a movie about Noah's Ark, but then there's a shark that supposedly had a demon in it that wanted to get on the ark, but which wouldn't make any sense because it's a shark.
Right.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would just swim.
Yeah.
It's
Next
just
to
swim. It's not like it's gonna die down there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I feel like this movie is a movie you gotta watch like way more than once to maybe start understanding what's going on. The cult stuff was sort of weird. I mean,
But those have been in his other movies. That those guys in the red with the mask have been in like 5 other movies.
yeah,
I don't know if they're meant to be the same cult, but that image has been in his other films. So I don't know if he's kind of connecting movies again, you know,
Well,
with
you
like
said
having the
that
same
priest,
priest.
yeah,
and-
same priest. I mean, I don't know.
but they never mention like Amityville, and Amityville is a piece of wood.
Well, they
It's a piece of wood from the house, from the Amityville
Right.
house that possesses the girl. And I thought the mom and the daughter that showed up at the beginning, who accused him of raping her, basically, which I thought was funny.
That was so strange.
You're
I don't
just
know.
like the other priests,
Yeah. Thank
and you're
you,
not even
Mark.
on cable television.
Yeah, I liked that. But I thought maybe those were supposed to be 2 of the characters from Amityville Exorcism, but I
Maybe
don't
they
think they
were.
were. The daughter that's in Amityville Exorcism, I'm forgetting her name. It's like Carrie. And then when I said, okay, but let me look, see if that's in Noah Shark, I guess the mom's name is like Carrie, not the daughter, and it's a different actress. So I don't know if that was from like Conjuring, you know, where we're kind of seeing at the very beginning something that happened that we didn't see. Like we're getting that little bit of,
Maybe it's a prequel.
yeah, like a prequel type thing. And it's just
Maybe
something
this
that
is
we
his
never-
like first thing, and then he goes off to the Ark, and then if you watch Amityville Exorcism, you'll see him performing the exorcism on the adult version of of the woman or whatever, but he'll look the same.
maybe, yeah. I mean,
He doesn't age. You know,
when that one guy, the radio guy, had mentioned to him, "Oh, you dealt with wood before," I didn't catch at first that it was a penis joke. I thought he was referring to Amityville Exorcism because he did deal with wood. It was a piece of wood from the Amityville house. So, because why wouldn't you? I mean, you would think if the guy is going, if the DJ is saying something to him like, "Hey, what are you doing here? You know, watch out." And you would think the priest would say, "I've dealt with this type of thing before. You know, I've dealt with possessed wood before." And then that's when he makes a dick joke or something. And,
that does sound like a that sounds like a setup for a dick joke right there.
yeah. But I want them connected. I want if you're gonna have the priest show up and more stuff, and it's gonna be Jeff, then have it all. I want it connected.
Yeah, and it's the same one. It's Father Benna. You know.
Yeah.
Um.
And I looked all the way down. I looked all the way down like IMDb, and it started with Amityville Exorcism.
You know, it's funny because it's a different writer too. It looks like Billy Amata. I think that's his name. Billy D'Amato wrote Amityville Exorcism, and then John Oak Dalton wrote, who I guess is one of his newer writers who writes with them a lot.
Yeah,
you got to think like how much of it's written, how much of it's like let's just come up with crazy shit while we're on set. You know,
I'm not sure. So here's a question, and I'm gonna say Donald might be a little wrong with this because I have one of Dustin's scripts because I have the Axe Grinder 2 script. So it is a full script. So I think when Dustin Ferguson wrote Apex Predators, that he knew beginning, middle, and end. He knew about the scientist. He knew about the Brody character. He knew about, and in the script, it somehow makes sense. But when he's filmed it and edited the film together, it doesn't make sense at all. Like he knew the story in his head. It just didn't translate to the screen well.
Right.
Where you have somebody like a Mark Polonia film where there might have been, I mean, how do you really communicate Noah Shark? So it's almost like the script wouldn't make sense, but it works on screen.
I think so. I thought it worked.
Yeah. So it's almost like a script that was supposed to make sense didn't, but then a script that doesn't make sense does.
You know, I'm like so worried about the people like, because when you say stuff like a movie doesn't make sense, that audiences, people checking out our review is going to be like, why would I want to watch a movie that doesn't make any sense? But like when you watch it, you're not thinking about that until like you think about it later after you watch it. You know what I mean? Like while you're watching it, you're not going, well, this whole like, you know what I mean? Like we're right now reviewing it. So we're talking about something that we've already watched, you know, and everything. But during the making, when we're watching it earlier, I don't know if you were having that thought of like, yeah, this, you know, this is so good because it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Because I guess that when you're, you know, if you're supposed to be hunting for Noah's Ark and you're in a completely different country up in the mountains, and it's supposed to be below zero, and you're not really wearing any winter gear, I don't think that you could seriously take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like you can't. You have to look at it as that's Mark's backyard.
Right.
Mhm.
But then like that's the problem. I think a lot of somebody's gonna watch this on Tubi and they're gonna see it and they're gonna be like, well, why are they in their backyard? You know what I mean? Like without listening to our review, if somebody is on Tubi right now and they're like, Noah Shark, that sounds kind of fun. So they turn it on and they're like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. Why is this happening? You know, like they may check out because they don't understand Mark Polonius.
It's possible. It's possible.
And
I think
that's going to be a problem too, with the craziness. Now, with Amityville in space, I have a feeling like that's going to be taking it to a whole different level, a higher.
I'm
plane.
hoping. I just pre-ordered it. So
I gotta see Sharkula too, man, because I loved Sharkenstein. So if they can make Were Shark or something at some point, then they'll have the whole,
Kyle Rappaport is Renfield.
something. But they need a Bela Lugosi, I guess you can't say the G word anymore. What do you call them? They're not gypsies.
Gopher. Oh,
Not
gypsies. Why can't you say gypsies?
It's a word that is not allowed by. It's rude.
Oh,
and
fuck that. Gypsies are not good people. They're thieves. That's what they do is steal. The places and con people and steal.
But there are people who do
We've been officially canceled.
travelers. That's what they like to be called, travelers.
No.
But yeah, so you need somebody like that. I don't like, not that I don't want to get canceled. I'm just tired of people just going, "Oh my god, you said the G word. I can't believe this."
No. Fuck off.
I'm so offended.
No,
But anyway,
but I mean, it's everything in this doesn't. It does a lot of it. Well, it can't make sense. How can it make sense, story wise?
because as far as we knew, Noah never had a shark that was possessed by, or whatever. Like this was never a real thing. This is just made up for a silly movie,
Yeah, a priest who teams up with a radio guy who's got a deal to do a 3-part a reality show, and he thinks he has the board from Noah's Ark, and so without any money or any resources or anything, they decide to go find it, and
then we find out that's all fake too, right? Like, doesn't Mark Polonia have a discussion with him on camera where he's saying, this is all fake reality, right? Like, this isn't
yes, because when the radio guy, he's on his phone, and I'm like, that's Mark's voice. That doesn't make sense, because why would Mark have his own voice if he's also the cameraman? That's confusing. But then I realized, or at least I think this is correct, that the cameraman is the guy on the phone threatening him to say, we're not going to kill you if you don't give us money.
right.
So this has to be a hit. So he's like going, you better find that arc or something bad's going to happen.
I swear to God, I got something else from it. I got that this was all fake. Like that there was never going to be an arc. They were never going to find the arc, and that they were just setting this guy up, and everything for.
I got that he
reality.
was skeptical that it's, I don't believe in Bigfoot, but if you take me out into the woods,
I
would want to find Bigfoot.
I got very confused because Mark, there was a conversation Mark and the radio guy or whatever, the reality show guy, Buster, are having, and he's like, I want to make sure I have this on camera. You set this whole thing up, and you're doing this, and then I'm just like, wait, what? Like, so is this not? So is there not supposed to be? And then all of a sudden they're gonna see an arc, and it's gonna be like, oh my god, it was actually real, and everything. And I'm like, I think that's what happened,
So unless that's a problem with the filmmaker, like Mark, then, because what I got out of it is different because of his voice being on the phone. So if you're correct and I'm wrong, then he should have never done his voice on the phone.
Mhm.
Because I got that the cameraman was the voice on the phone, and he was going along with them to get his money, and he's recording the guy after he took a piss, going, this better not be a hoax. This is fake. Is it fake? And the guy's like, no. This is completely on the level.
Okay.
So
maybe
he
might be
didn't
right.
know that Mark was on the phone. Maybe he didn't know it was the same guy.
What
But
do you
that's
think,
what I
Donald?
took from it. Yeah,
You agree with?
I think it's open for interpretation. I think both of you probably have a good point. I mean, I don't like I said. I
It's
think
like I don't know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't. I
He's like, I
I
saw
could
this twice
see
and I'm still so confused.
I could see the uh uh what's it Mark Pontia's character saying like what John was saying. I could see the whole thing with him being the guy that is supposed to be getting the money or whatever. I could see that. But then again, I'm not 100% sure because keep in mind here, I am partially deaf, so I can't really determine voices that well. So someone's voice may sound a little different to me when they're on the phone versus in real life. So that I may not have picked up on that part.
Yeah.
So,
I
Well-
didn't pick up on that either, but
Yeah, and Mark has done where like he'll be in one of his films, but then he'll also be a voice on the radio.
right.
So
So
I
maybe
don't know.
that's
Just
what is. Maybe he did that and just didn't credit himself twice. You know. I mean,
yeah,
I
because
don't know.
you have him at the very beginning, and they were that the mother and daughter come in, and they tell the priest to go, fuck off, and then you have the phone call, and then you have him later, like getting him on camera saying this better be real, or if this is fake, kind of like he can use it against him.
Right.
So that's kind of why I'm putting that all
Which,
together.
At the end, it didn't matter because they just left the fucking camera.
But somebody
So-
grabbed it.
I know, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, even if the guy's like, we don't need it to have proof, blah blah blah, right? You still bring the camera because that's still got other footage that doesn't have to do with what you just shot. Like he's not going to leave his $2,000 or whatever camera because you know what I mean. Like it just didn't.
Well,
to me,
because
that was
the
full.
arc is bigger. You can't. You don't want to. That's why that's why Mark's character said, you need to go grab something, like go grab a board. Then we have proof.
Right.
But then they already have proof because the board is back at the radio station. The original board is there, and they could just.
But didn't it catch fire though when he was exercising it?
It was,
Exorcise the demon.
but it didn't disappear though.
That's true. It just went on fire, and then that's it.
And I love Mark's use of visual effects like that. I think that was one of my. I think I saw a film before Camp Blood for Slaughter called something like The Horrors of Mars or something like that. It's him and his brother, and they're up on Mars, but it was more physical effects. And I remember when Brad Sykes was doing his the High 8 and all that, and I said, if you ever make a sequel to that, which he eventually did, I said you should get these guys. And I think Brad ignored me, knowing that I didn't know, but at the time, I think he knew that they did Camp Blood 3, and
Right.
Or Mark did Camp Blood 3, and so when I watched Camp Blood 3, all those the CGI blood and machetes going into heads, I'm like, my God, this is a comic book.
Mhm.
This is awesome. So but I don't like that stuff with other people. I really only like it when Mark does it. I think that he knows how to do it correctly.
He does.
And it's fun to watch that.
I agree.
I think there's also a difference with the CGI blood when you have a company that can put in the money to make it look good, and they use these crappy things you can rip off of YouTube.
Right.
Versus, someone's like, clearly we're using shoestring budget here. Let's just throw some fake blood, and if we can use we can use real fake blood when we need it, but then for like something that's going to happen real quick, we'll use the CGI blood. So I don't have a problem with that. But
Well,
I mean,
think
it kind of
Mark
adds
has-
the charm.
It's fun, and there is a charm to it, and I
Mhm.
think Mark now has a system. We mentioned with Ferguson that it's like a machine. I think with Mark it's the same way, that they're like, okay, well, we need a shark movie. Okay, half shark, half dinosaur. Okay, and then he just has that machine that brings it out.
You better
And
copyright that.
he has
Yeah.
he has a machine. He has people that he works with constantly. He's sort of like Dustin. He cranks out these movies pretty quick,
Just better.
except better. Yeah, he's like, he knows. And the reason he's better, I think, is because he's been doing it for so long, as opposed to Dustin, who's been doing it for maybe 10 years. But
2015 or something like that.
2015. So yeah, not even 10 years. Almost 10 years. But then there's Mark, who has been doing it since like the 80s,
Yeah.
and he has his friends, he has his soul group of people and new people he always asks, and he gets these people, and they're a lot of fun. They're enjoying themselves, you can tell that.
But Mark also grows. We
Yeah.
talked about growth with Dustin, and I don't see
lack
with
of
something
growth.
like, yeah, there's definitely a lack of growth, and Apex Predators is just, as Donald pointed out, it's just Jaws with zero budget. But then when you look at something like Noah's Shark, that's creative. Like it or not, it's different.
You see a
know.
shark. I mean,
There is a shark in the movie.
There's
and
a fucking shark in the movie.
It bites a guy's hand off, and then sometimes it bites his arm off.
and
It just
bit Jamie. It got, took her away. I loved her, but I mean,
she's up there with her gun kicking ass, shooting
yeah,
everybody.
she was a badass. I loved her. I like the guy that played the radio guy. Like, I like the Buster guy. I thought he was great. I haven't. He's been in a few of Mark's movies too, and so I kind of want to see more stuff with him, because he looked like he was having fun. Like he was playing a character that he was enjoying playing. Like a sleazy producer, a reality show guy, host or whatever.
And on top of that, we don't have Jeff Kirkendall playing Jeff the priest, or
Exactly.
Mark playing Mark the camera guy.
Right.
It took me a second.
Jamie playing Jamie the bodyguard girl.
Yeah. So if you guys want to understand what that reference is, go watch our Apex Predators episode, and you can hear more of that. But it's true. It's absolutely true. Like, you have people who they have all characters who are characters, and they are having a lot of fun. And that, I think, is the biggest difference between something like Noah's Shark and something like Apex Predators, or Shark Huntress, Shark Huntress. They were having a lot of fun too, but I would honestly think that Noah's Shark is way better than Shark Huntress. Just because it's just more fun. I don't know. It's more enjoyable.
I would watch Noah Shark again.
I would too.
It's one of his films that I would watch again, because
I definitely want to get my own copy now.
Yeah, I want to get my own copy.
If you look at his IMDb, it's constantly changing. It's evolving, and where other filmmakers aren't. So that's and I think that it's I also bought like Feeders 3, so I'm curious to see what that is compared to the original 2. And I like how now he's going back, Return to Slaughter Farm, and making these sequels and stuff. So I enjoy
making
that
sequels to the movies he did with his brother, and I think, and now he's doing a lot with his son. So, which is cool. He co-directed House Squatch, and maybe that's another reason why I wasn't huge into it, because I think when you get two people together, they sometimes contradict each other. And so sometimes the movie seems a little sloppier, I guess, because two people are having different opinions on. I've had co-directors that I've produced, and they just sometimes they don't even communicate. they're just someone will direct one scene and someone will direct another scene, and it looks completely discombobulated, and stuff. I'm not saying House Watch was. I'm just saying I think maybe my feelings for House Watch was maybe a little bit more to the fact that they directed it together, which is sweet. Father and son directing a movie together, that's nice. But when you look at something like Noah's Shark, just directed by Mark Polonia, he was having fun and he was doing it and he was in his element.
It's a single vision.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he wants, and he went out and he got it. Like Donald.
Where did you see House Watch?
It's on Tubi.
Well, when we get done with this, maybe I'll check it out because that's
Yeah.
one of his newer ones, and I haven't seen it yet. So
You might like it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I just think it's a little, it's just a little too. I don't know. There's just it seemed too formulaic. Like this happens to get to this happening. Where this actually
can't say that with Noah's Shark.
You can't. There was no structure for this movie. This movie was so out of
Crazy.
so crazy and everything, and I really enjoyed that. I think I think that's what more of Mark's movies should be, as opposed to some.
Well, have you guys seen? Have you watched Virus Shark?
No.
That's
I have.
SRS. That's one of my
That's really
favorite
good.
ones. That's
That was
another
really
crazy
good.
one where it's the end of the world and they got the lab underwater and the shark is like it has this virus on it and it infects the people above and the whole lab breaks apart and they have to get up to the top and they don't realize it's like the end of the world. And then they meet up with zombies and mutants. Once again, another crazy movie. It's not this typical thing where, it's, James Cameron with The Abyss might have had aliens. Okay, fine, whatever. But Mark all of a sudden throws zombies and mutants into the mix.
Why not?
Yeah.
At this rate. What is it? Somebody was comparing Noah's Shark to Shark Exorcist by
No, hell no.
Donald Farmer, because they said this is the closest to a Shark Exorcist movie or sequel you're gonna get, until they realized, oh shit, there's also Shark Exorcist 2 coming out. But it is sort of true that this was a demon possessing shark movie, or whatever, it does have exorcism stuff in
it
it.
didn't have 10 minutes of a girl walking around a mall playing with stuffed sharks. That was just what the hell?
Yeah.
That was just.
We haven't done Shark Exorcist for Shark Attack Sunday yet, but that'll probably be next season, maybe, unless Madeline chooses that for her movies. I don't know.
The best thing about Shark Exorcist is that Stephen King acknowledges that there's a shark exorcist. That's the best thing about the movie.
I think he also acknowledges Sharks of the Corn, if I'm correct. So he's aware that his movies are like that. There are shark movies that are just so goofy and stuff. And I think, what, honestly, and this is probably another reason why we created Shark Attack Sunday, was to acknowledge these, what's normally crappy shark movies or whatever, shitty shark movies. But these are the low budget shark movies. These are the movies that are out there that are, I don't know, a lot of fun, they're just silly, goofy, not serious at all, those are the ones I really like. Not like Shark Huntress or I think Apex Predators kind of failed that way too, was being too serious, at times instead of more fun.
See, I think Apex Predators was meant to be fun. It just came off more like work, where this actually looks like it was, Noah's Shark looked like it was, like they actually had fun making it.
Whoa, your voice just went up. Did you just turn your volume up?
Me?
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm talking lower than I have throughout the thing.
Weird. Did you notice that, Donald, that his voice went higher? Or is it
I
just
didn't.
my...
I didn't actually.
Okay.
Maybe I just hit puberty. I don't know.
We talked about that before.
Like reverse puberty. Yeah.
We made that. You already made that joke with me, like on the last one.
I can make it again.
Fine.
Donald hasn't heard it.
Yeah, it was on our Final Destination one. All right. Anywho, is there anything else? Did we leave anything else out? I think that's pretty much it.
I don't know. I think that people should check it out and don't go in thinking it's Jaws. Go in for a good time. It's fun. It's a comic book. It's got really, it's got fun actors in it and fun effects, and just take it for what it is. Don't think about it in the way that maybe we do or I do, where I overanalyze movies. Just go into it, knowing that Noah's Ark is a picture and
it's a fun movie.
Where it's at is Mark's backyard.
Well, that's the thing, is like you're going in analyzing it, but only because you're reviewing it right now, and maybe you might analyze it if you're watch it, but probably not if you're. I say this is a movie that somebody can watch when they're like tired and they're trying to find something on Tubi. They're just like, let me watch something, and then they go, this movie will get you going and have you watch a silly shark movie. I don't like saying bad shark movie. I say silly shark movie, because this is just a low budget, fun little flick. And thank God there are people like Mark Polonia who just have fun making their movies. So thank you, Mark, for making something fun for us.
There you go. And I would say, if you're going to watch it, probably get high and grab a pizza and get some beer and enjoy it that way. It's definitely a film that I think could be enjoyed under some sort of mind-altering drug.
Mind-altering substance. But, I think even people who made this movie would say that too, as, just get your friends together. And
there are certain films that have, that definitely, would help. I mean, Birdemic would be one of them. Shock and Terror.
Where there was no shock or terror.
I love Birdemic.
There was a Birdemic.
I absolutely love Birdemic.
He hates that bash on it all the time. Oh God, you're missing out, man. I don't know.
I own, oh my God, I own the Blu-ray of the first film. They didn't bring out a Blu-ray for the second one, but I have that on DVD. I even have a really nice metal hanger that sits next to the movies, because they try to fight the turkey vultures with a hanger. And when the movie plays in theaters, you're supposed to bring hangers with you to fight them.
That sounds very dangerous.
Kind of like Rocky Horror. And I found on eBay a prop for a turkey vulture that's like $20, and I'm going to buy it. So so I could put the movies and all that next to it. Yeah, I love Birdemic. I think it's great.
If we do Birdemic 2, I'll have you on, but we've already done Birdemic 1. So
yeah, definitely. So yeah, because we were even comparing Shark Huntress to Birdemic.
Right. Very similar in style.
Environment type of stuff. Yeah. So
which this had none of that, which is good. It had a lot of biblical stuff,
Which is nice that it wasn't thrown in your face. So
it wasn't. It was very subtle, sort of thing, where it was the story, but you have to hear that. You have to hear. The only problem I have with it was like sort of repeated twice, sort of repeated the story of Noah's thing twice. And we see a lot of repeat footage,
I don't know why near the end they showed the board burning again. That I didn't get.
I got a little confused at that too. Because I thought like that was supposed to be a flashback to it, that would explain something. I didn't.
The second time I watched it, I actually fast forwarded through that because I knew that was just the same scene we seen at the beginning.
Yeah, like there's no change to it. It was just, and then at the end they don't. I mean, it's not even really like he's acknowledging it or talking about it. Like, that's why the board, was on fire. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you extend it. So what maybe what we saw at the very beginning was like 2 minutes. And then we flash back to it. And now it's 3 minutes because now
That's
we're
3
getting
minutes.
more information.
Yeah.
You know,
But
we
we,
see
didn't get
something.
that, but
No,
maybe
we
that
didn't.
adds to the craziness of the movie. Just like
I want to
random-
know how
Or
they
he
got
was-
home.
Or he was trying to run up the runtime to.
Or did they get home?
please.
Or did they get home?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. We'll find out.
Yeah.
I guess
I
if they
say
make
no.
Noah's Shark 2, you know, that
Noah's Shark 2, Aqua. No, let's see.
The flooding.
The blooding.
the
The
flooding.
flooding.
The
The
flooding.
flooding.
Yeah.
The flooding.
Sounds way better than the spawning. Just saying.
Steal from James Cameron's first film. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, but she had to actually, from what I remember hearing, he had to actually break into to edit his film. He had to break into.
He did. There's
Corman's.
two, not Corman. It's the Italians. So where he shot the film there's 2 cuts of the movie, and I think the one, like the first one that came out on DVD is a different cut than the second one that came out. But yeah, there's 2 cuts of the film. There's the producer's cut and then there's Cameron's cut. But at least he has a sense of humor about it. I mean, if you've ever seen the behind the scenes of Terminator 2, they bring him a cake on his birthday, and as he cuts in it, he says, "A piranha's not going to fly out of this, is it?" Because that's what happens in Piranha 2. The piranha flies right out of a birthday cake.
Nice. Well,
So
there you
you gotta have
go.
a sense of humor about stuff. Unlike
I
other
know,
people
and I think
who
Mark Poloni
don't.
I think Mark Poloni has a great sense of humor, and you know, and when they have characters that try to be funny in his movies, they're actually funny, you know, like as opposed to some movies we've seen where the characters try to be funny and you're like, kind of roll your eyes, you know, kind of thing.
Well, because they're trying to be funny, because they're trying to be other already established characters.
Right.
You know, you can't, you can't have somebody be Jay and Silent Bob because Jay and Silent Bob are Jay and Silent Bob. You know, it's not going to work. Make your own characters.
Or the
Right.
random guy running on the beach, blasting everybody.
That was Mr. Ferguson, by the way.
I know it was.
And it's something you guys missed. We didn't bring this up, and unless you sat through all the credits of Apex Predators, you get a at the very end. It's a shot of Dustin's mouth. That's all it is, and he's licking his lips.
That's in the movie too.
Yeah, that's what he's
Is it?
saying.
hmm
Where
Well,
was
it's at
that
the
in
very-
movie?
It's at the very end after the credits. I don't remember it being in the film itself.
It's in the movie because when you see the scene where he's sitting there looking through the binoculars and he's like, I don't know, kind of, and then all of a sudden they go cuts to his mouth going,
Oh, was that? Oh, Ferguson was on the binoculars.
I guess.
Okay. Okay. All right. I completely did not catch that. So it's very obvious that it's him at the end. So
I don't know. I did not see that, and I'm very glad. So
yes, because now it is embedded in my brain forever.
yeah, so I'm okay. You know.
You're welcome, John.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
You
everybody.
can blame Mr. Moody for making you review it.
Well, I think he wanted to see it. I don't think he saw it yet. So there you go. It's an excuse to watch it, especially after he owned it. Just the same as this was an excuse to watch Noah's Shark, you know, which I hadn't seen and none of us had seen. So
It's a good reason too. You know, you buy it, you want to watch it, but then why watch a different shark movie? So
yeah, and it's for Shark Attack Sunday, which is a good thing for us to do. We're gonna be doing this.
The second film of mine I have seen at least 3 times and I own it. So that is the opposite of what we're doing right now with Noah's Shark.
Well, we'll talk about that when we get to that one, which will be next month. So we won't announce what it is yet.
It's
and I
actually
can't
sitting right behind me.
and I can't announce what we're doing next because Madeline hasn't even sent me her 2 that she wants to do, and we're going to do those back to back. So that's fun.
And she's
know.
the shark person.
She's the shark person. She's just really fucking busy. She's making her own shark movie. It's called Bathtub Shark Attack.
I can't wait for that.
I know, right?
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely one I want to get. On Blu-ray.
Same.
I want to get on Blu-ray because gotta have my shark movies. I got Sharks of the Corn on Blu-ray. I might as well have Bathtub Sharks and Shark Attack. I gotta get a House Shark on Blu-ray. All those fun movies.
So far behind on shark movies, not even funny.
Yeah. There's so many. Like, that's the thing. This is another reason why we're doing this show, is because there are so many out there, and Tubi has a million of them. I'm exaggerating on that, but they have a lot.
I bought all 3 of these on the same day.
So you said land shark, bull shark,
and oh wait,
what was that?
I didn't see
Beneath
that
the
one.
Surface.
I think I might
Yeah.
have that one.
I
I
bought
got the other
them,
two.
but the
Bull
bull
shark,
shark and
yeah.
land shark are ITN, so expect those to be at Dollar Tree soon.
Oh, that's the sad thing, is like that. I'll buy them for like $10, and later I'll see it at the Dollar Tree, and I'm like, fuck, why did I buy it for $10 when but mainly because I want to watch it, and then I don't end up
$10
watching it.
isn't bad.
Then I end
for
up
something
not
brand new.
watching it. Actually, $10 is way better than like Lionsgate selling everything for like $15 for a DVD.
Yeah.
$12 or whatever.
So
it
you
is.
got to wait for sales. That's what I do
Yeah.
with Wild Eye and SRS and all that. It's all got to be on sale.
Well, SRS, I can understand, somewhat, because they're so small of a label, and everything. Wild Eye's a little bit bigger, I guess. They got a little bigger range.
I think I got Noah Shark for like $10 because I bought all those at the same time. Sharkula and Noah Shark, and I think they're all like 10.
Yeah. So there you go. So go buy these movies. Go watch them on
Too bad.
Tubi or Amazon Prime. It seems like Tubi and Amazon Prime have a lot of these movies together. Or buy them. I would buy them, just because if you're a shark fan, if you're watching this, you're probably a shark fan. And if you're a shark fan, then you should probably go and
Shark fin.
that was my little pun on sharks.
I
But
what Cheryl Finn has to say about
I feel like we're now finished.
that.
So,
Donald, anything else from you?
yeah.
We pretty much covered everything.
All right.
much.
So are we going to rate this, or is there a rating for this?
I guess we could do the stinkometer. So I'd have to explain the stinkometer thing, because we did it, I think, for the other one, but I just didn't want to do it for the Jurassic or whatever. Well, not Jurassic.
Apex Predators.
Apex Predators. So this one, so we do a stinkometer rating, which means 1 to 10, 1 being very, very good and 10 being very, very stinky, bad, and just because a movie is bad does not mean it's not good. You know what I mean? Like, just because it's a bad movie doesn't mean you don't enjoy it. But it just means that, like, there's problems with it or flaws or whatever, and you can also do 0.5. So say 5.5 or 6.5 if you feel like you can't do the, between them. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to give this a 6 on the stinkometer scale. 6.
Okay.
So what do you say,
Okay.
John?
So I am basing this off of other Mark movies, other
Mhm.
Mark Polonia films. So if 1 is awesome and 10 is beyond bad, I am going to. Oh wait, so you gave this a 6?
This doesn't mean I didn't like it or anything. I liked it. It's just, I think that it's, it's all, it's not the greatest movie, but it's not the worst.
Okay. All right. Well, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm actually going to be giving it I think it deserves maybe a 3.
A 3. Wow.
I'm comparing it to his other films too, where
Okay.
where like Sharkenstein would get a friggin' 1, because it's awesome.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
I think got a 6 on the scale.
Sharkenstein got a 6.
Am I think for me, yeah.
Wow.
Let
All
me
right,
check
Donald.
that.
What about you? We're two different.
Judging by how he's saying it, I think he means this, like the stinkometer is basically like, even if it's a 10 doesn't mean it's bad. It's bad. It's just like how, I think what he means, like how cheesy it is or how bad some of the effects and stuff are. That's what I think he's talking about. Not that it's
Okay.
like terrible or anything like
Well,
that.
see, I see it like an outhouse. If you went to a porta potty, you'd be like, oh my God, that stank. That's like a 10 on the Richter scale. That is god awful. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Or if you went to maybe a patch of roses and you'd be like, oh wow, this is a 1. This is beautiful. This is really good. That's
Okay.
how I see the stinkometer. That's how I
Okay.
look at it. But it's
Okay.
up to interpretation, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I would have to give it a 5, just because there were some things I liked. There were some things I was meh about, but it wasn't. I feel like one doesn't outweigh the other. It's just in the middle there. So I'm just gonna throw it in
Okay.
5.
So because this was like Sharkenstein was like the second Polonium movie I'd watched. I think I'd seen Land Shark before. And because it was crazy as fuck of a movie, but also made no sense at times. I gave it a 9 before.
That
Now,
was Sharkenstein?
yeah, this was back in season 3. This was like 2 years ago.
9.
Hold on. This is 2 years ago. Remember, I was not aware of basically what Mark Polonia's kind of movies were and stuff. So if I had to redo my score, I would probably say a 6, and I would say
Yeah,
the same here.
Yeah, because I don't think that you can. I remember Cinefantastique magazine would do their reviews. Like they always had the Star Trek issue. They go by seasons and they would give it stars. One issue was almost completely dedicated to Charles Band. And so they did the 1 to 5 stars. But they did the little asterisks at the beginning saying, if they give Trancers 5 stars, that doesn't mean it's as good as Citizen Kane at 5 stars.
Right.
It just means on the level of Charles Band, this is a 5-star movie. So that's how I look at it. So I'm looking at other
right. Once again,
films. So yeah.
Once again, I was not aware of him really. Like I knew of him. I knew like I was able to watch Sharkenstein on Prime. I don't think I was even really watching that many movies on Tubi, or that many movies were on Tubi in 2020. And I was doing it with Jackie. We were reviewing the movie with Jackie, and Paul gave it 8.5. I think Paul would have changed his score too. Like, because we talk about Sharkenstein all the time because of how crazy it is. So I think we would probably, but once again, I think it's because we didn't know much about Mark. The more movies you watch with Mark, the more you're going to be like, okay, I get it. It's his style. This is crazy. This is you know what I mean? So Sharkenstein, and sometimes like if Paul goes high on 8.5, he probably loves it, like when he does that, he wants to show people the movie because of how crazy it is, or sometimes just to torture people with it, depending on what it is.
Yeah, like you did with Shark Huntress.
Like you did with Alien Beast, too.
Oh my God.
No.
You guys will never forgive me for that. Never.
Nope. He gave Alien Beast a 5. He doesn't even remember doing that. Just
I did not understand how the stinkometer worked, because to me 10 is great and 1 is bad. So so I didn't understand that 10 is horrible, like if you go to an outhouse, and 1 is good. So I didn't get that. So I think I gave it a 5 because I didn't totally understand it. So but now I understand it.
But you gave it a 3 here. He gave it a 5. I gave it a 6. I think that's a fair score.
Yeah. There we go.
So once again, thank you guys for this. This has been awesome. Everybody, check us out next week. I believe it's going to be Madeline's. Once again, I have no idea what she's going to torture us with. She knows stinky movies too, stinky shark movies. So she'll probably pick something. She knows what we've done, so she'll probably pick something on par of all the stuff that we've already done. So this year's been pretty fun, so far. So join us next week. And thank you, Donald, once again.
Thank you, Donald.
We'll try to have you back,
Sure.
for sure. You've been a lot of fun. Sorry if we talk a lot,
That's fine. I'm his first time. You'll be getting tired of me. Trust me.
Oh no,
and
not
I
at
like
all.
hearing the sound of my own voice, so I could talk forever unless somebody interrupts me. So
Is that what do you do like commentary by yourself, John?
this is gonna sound bad. I listen to my own videos.
Oh God.
I
I
like
hate listening to my own videos.
I do it for a few reasons. One, to see if I need to fix anything for another video or stuff like that. But but I do enjoy watching myself on screen. So
Yeah.
and hearing myself. I'm sorry, I just do.
Yeah,
So
that happens.
I would not be one of those actors who's like, oh, I can't see myself on the big screen. It's so embarrassing. No, I'd just be there, just, oh my God, that's me.
I do that too. So I'm always in awe of people. Like, why would you even do a movie if you don't ever want to watch yourself? But that's how people are. Some people are.
Well, and you notice mistakes, especially if you're doing YouTube stuff. Like I have noticed mistakes that YouTubers who got the little check marks and stuff next to them, that they make mistakes with names and dates and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, let me see if I do that. And then I'll go back and listen to myself and I'll be like, oh, I said this date and that's wrong, or maybe I pronounced the guy's name wrong or something like that. And I just know to watch for that later on. But once again, it's critiquing yourself so you learn and be better on the next one.
Yeah.
Once again, self-knowledge,
Yeah.
that'll help you as a filmmaker and a podcaster. So, but anyway, thank you guys so much. This has been awesome. And everybody join us next week.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.